AntoneBlast is an indie game that thrives on highly engaging, fast-paced, and often expressive chaotic action. It's a game that delivers quick bursts of fun, perfect for those who are craving intense, stimulating gameplay without the commitment of hour-long sessions. Whether you're diving into a 5-minute level or tackling a unique boss fight, AntoneBlast allows you to jump right in, get your fix, and enjoy everything it has to offer in a short amount of time. At first glance, you're going to draw comparisons to Pizza Tower due to the visual expressions and fast-paced level designs. But you need to know that AntoneBlast isn't a simple copy of a beloved indie dev's passion. It blends classic game references and mechanics with fresh, engaging gameplay, offering a fun retro journey through the story of Antoine and Annie as they carve their path through hell. It provides a surprisingly motivating backstory. It's simple, relatable, and fun. Dynamite Antoine and Dynamite Annie are furious after Satan, jealous of Antoine's vibrant red colors, sends his mole henchmen to rob them. This quirky conflict is brought to life through the charming MS Paint-style animations. The duo, now pissed off, both embark on a mission to reclaim what Satan stole for them, specifically their alcohol. As you progress closer to his level, Satan throws in some humorous loading screen dialogues, making his remarks both engaging and genuinely funny through his flamboyant taunts. This is where AntoneBlast draws similarities to Pizza Tower. The core concepts are the same, that being rushing through a level, uncovering the secret rooms, smashing everything in sight, and then reaching the end to activate the timer, which is then your cue to rush back out. But what sets AntoneBlast apart, however, is the sheer visual chaos and also the better art direction that it has. It's wild, hectic, and consistently shaky, especially if you max out certain in-game settings. If you do lower these settings, however, it does become apparent that the game relies too heavily on these sensory overloads to help keep you engaged. This can be a bit overwhelming at times. If you're up for the challenge, the game adds in another layer of difficulty by restricting your vision, intensifying the already frantic gameplay if you do have the currency to afford such novelties. One issue with the gameplay that I did notice is that while each boss fight is entertaining, it leans heavily into the classic boss fight formula. You end up waiting for the boss to make a move, then responding and waiting again. Since each boss has its own dedicated room instead of being integrated into a larger level outside of the fight like with Satan himself, it does become rather repetitive. What I would have loved to see is for their stages to have function as actual levels, where you rush through, destroy everything, and face the boss both on the way in and also on the way out. This would have kept the action continuously flowing, really helping to amp up that gameplay. But as it stands, the boss fights eventually start to feel a bit lacking, especially with the finale with Satan himself, feeling overly frustrating in comparison to the rest due to the spike in difficulty and the multiple phases that he has. It's nice to see that you can switch things up and play as Antoine or Annie, customizing some minor visuals to suit your preferred playstyle. It's tough to put into words how this game makes you feel. It's simply fun, and that's really all you need to know. While the game is undeniably enjoyable, the initial urge to pick it up might not strike you right away. You really do have to be in the right mood for this kind of genre, but once you do dive in, the excitement and sensory overload hits you in short, manageable bursts. Despite the exhaustion that will set in after powering through 12 levels and 8 boss fights, the game's addictive nature keeps pulling you back in with humorous elements, making you want to push through and keep playing until the very end. What I loved about the game wasn't just the chaotic, fast-paced action in every level, but how each level felt distinct and unique to themselves, even if they were sometimes frustratingly maze-like. Take the bathhouse level for example. It introduced elements of confusion, misdirection, and fun water-based mechanics. Another level might feature swinging monkey mechanics or a sea of literal feces, always keeping things fresh and exciting as you're introduced to a pinball level, which opens the door to an ADHD's dream. And throughout it all, there are plenty of classic Donkey Kong and Super Mario inspired elements, including a playful nod to Mario himself, minus the hat, for obvious copyright reasons. Some people may not enjoy the challenge of navigating through the rooms and doors to find the exit, but if there was a map, it would lessen the tension and make the experience much more shallow. There were two main issues that I just couldn't shake. First, the soundtrack, which felt lacking at times, even putting me to sleep because it was just too repetitive and poorly transitioned. During certain levels and escapes, the music would cut off and restart before it reached a satisfying point. It just didn't match the excitement or the gameplay most times. The second issue was the controls, which did feel inconsistently finicky, especially when you're in the moment of button mashing. This would result in your character performing unintended actions like a weapon bounce when you're trying to spin along the ground. Regardless of these shortcomings, if you're a fan of games like Pizza Tower, you've got to check out AntoneBlast. It takes everything that made that game great through level designs and wackiness and improves upon it to help it stand out on its own. And for those who couldn't fully enjoy Pizza Tower, I was also in the same boat. After playing through AntoneBlast from start to finish, I can confidently say that it delivered exactly what I felt like was lacking within Pizza Tower, despite how fun it may have been for many others. You're looking at around 5 hours of core gameplay, without even diving into the secrets and unlockable achievements. Some of these achievements of which are particularly well thought out, though once you've beaten the game, there isn't a whole lot of replayability.